Scott, it's a long season, so I know some coaches, go with the segment routine, whether it's 8 or 10 games or whatever. In your idea, is that a good thing to do to, compartmentalize, or?
Yeah, I'm not big on that. You know what? Because if you do great, obviously it's good. But if you don't, now you're kind of, what are you selling next? So I'm more about the next game, the next opponent, and put the next, critique what you've maybe done in the last game or a couple, and then use it to get better in practice, and then through practice and video, and then move on to the next game. And because it's a different opponent each night, kind of different look about what's coming at us and different ways of other teams play. So I just try to stay focused on and try to keep the group focused on what's next.
So from that perspective then, with some of the changes St. Louis has made, or what are you anticipating from them from what you've been able to see, I guess, a limited time?
Yeah, I haven't watched them a whole lot. I'll do that more today. But, a team that's off to a good start, it's another team in our division. It's not going to be an easy out. You're going to have to make sure that we're at our best. They're usually pretty good in that building in St. Louis. They got some top-end players in Kyrou and Bushnevich and those guys that kind of drive that. Their specialty teams are good. And so, we have to make sure that we start this road trip off on a good note by, making sure we're good with our game as well.
You often hear, Scott, about Central Division hockey, like it had its own unique character to it. You guys have been really good in your own division last year for sure, and off to a good start in 2 games this year. What do you think it is about your team that competes so well within its own division?
Yeah, you know what, that was something we came in here and looking at the numbers when we came in here a couple of years ago, saw that stat that they've always been good. I think a few years ago weren't real good against the East, and we improved that last couple of years. I think they're just, you run into each other so often, and the dislike that grows over the years. And the tough part is that we've had a great start, but we got, everybody's still sitting right there. Everybody is not, they're all right in the mix as well. So it's just a very competitive division. There's a lot of similarities about how we play, how we defend. There's some star-studded players on a lot of the teams, and it's a tough division. You come out of this division, it's a tough one to come out of.
It's funny, over the course of a long season, you might hit teams at different cycles in how they're playing. Maybe sometimes you play a team that has been stumbling a bit. Looks like all 3 teams you're going to face on this road trip are all off to really good starts. That'll be a good test, I guess, for you guys.
Yeah, getting out in the road, that's another area. You talked about division. We talked about whether it was the East or whatever, but being good on the road. We've done a good job of that. So, we've got a lot coming here on the road in the next stretch. So, we do need to be good. And, I've said before, there isn't a home way or a road way to play. It's just the right way, and that's what we have to do. We got to continue to play the right way.
Scott, when you talk about sort of just selling the idea of how you have to play here, does this idea of a road trip where there are going to be some more challenging teams kind of help you in that art of coaching so that this team 5-0-0 doesn't rest on its laurels?
Yeah. You take the Edmonton mini Pittsburgh game, kind of veteran groups, kind of teams that, are, battle weary, battle heavy. We got in Chicago, San Jose, 2 younger teams, kind of trying to find their way. Now we've got teams that, are back to being kind of, off to good starts, being grind teams that play heavy, that play hard at home. So it's one of those things that if we have to be good at what we do and be consistent at what we do, and we've done that here in the last 5. Now we got to go out on the road and do the same thing.
Scott, I'm guessing you nitpick probably more about the roster and parts of the game than anybody else. What do you liked about your 5-1 start? What's the key, and what did you like about it?
Yeah, we found different ways to win. Probably is one of the areas. I think our specialty teams have helped us. It might have been the Lowry line last night scoring the 3 goals. The first game in Edmonton, Scheif's line, and a couple of the other ones. Vladdy's line, a couple of nights ago. So we're getting with our forward group, we're getting contributions from everybody. Like our D has been, I thought there was a stretch where we worked on playing fast, and we got it back up to where we want it to be. And the D have been good, not to spend too much time in our end. I think last night was probably the first game that we've been out zone timed. And, Pittsburgh, got to give them credit. We weren't very good in the second, and it grew that way. But I just like our consistency throughout our lineup that has helped us to kind of look the same every shift going out, kind of having that same mindset.
Have you, is there a temptation as a head coach to always want to kind of shuffle things up, or have you been happy to let
Shuffle in...
like lines or whatever, or have you been happy to kind of let, like, you let the second line breathe a little bit, and, now they've come around in the last couple of games, and that sort of thing? Like, is there a...
Yeah, I'm not. Probably one of the things I've learned over the years is that you let them grow their chemistry. If you keep changing it too much, it gets hard, and sometimes you have to after a certain time period. You just have to. But at the end of the day, most guys that are in this league, and they're in this league for a reason, they'll find a way to work things out, and they'll find a way to get their game going first, and then get their partner or their line mates up and running with them. And that's kind of what we've seen a little bit with all our group.
Scott, respecting that, you'd like to keep intel and that sort of thing, but, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like Pittsburgh threw a little bit of a different wrinkle at you on the one and only power play that you had. And because, it's a copycat league, do you expect other teams to try that, and is that something you're...
Yeah, they had a wall. They had a wall going pretty good at their line, and it's something where some of the games we've had success, and we've had great clean entries to get in, and I'm sure Sully and his group there pre-scouted us with our speed, and they did everything possible to kind of, they got down ice early to kind of disrupt things. And so actually we worked on a little bit today on some of the things we'd like to do. And but at the end of the day, that's part of the chess match that happens. We go against St. Louis, what are they going to do? We go against Seattle, what are they going to do with Calgary? It's kind of getting ready for what's coming. And last night, us not getting in and getting set, obviously certainly goes to having the zone time against them. But they did a good job. They did a real good job of clogging things up.
To be good on the back end this year, last one, just one. To be good on the back end this year was going to require Samberg filling that spot that Dylan vacated. And we're seeing Pionk. Looks like he's in a place we haven't seen him for a long time in Samberg elevated his game. What do you think it is about those two players together and the chemistry they have that is allowing them to...
Yeah, I talked to P there, both of them actually in the summertime quite a bit, but actually P was the one I kind of zeroed in on about, because I know they're in the same hometown and they skate together every day, they work out together. I was just trying to get him to take the leadership with Sammy, and he's done a fantastic job. I think those two have been outstanding, and it's a big role. When you go from what Sammy's doing, I mean, P's done it before, but you go head-to-head against the top six in teams. That's not just one or two shifts. You're going 20, 25 shifts against it. It's and then you throw specialty teams in there. It's a big workload, and that's the area for me that Sammy's really kind of grasped and really jumped into. We're trying to add a little touch of the flair of the offense too, which he has been showing. Because if he's out with our top six, they're expecting him to make plays and be a part of that. So, after 5 games, I like a lot of what those two are doing.
There's a play where I believe it's Carlson goes backdoor. They're up 2-0, and Samberg sees it.
Yeah.
Closes, and breaks up that pass. It's probably in the back of the net, 3-0 if he doesn't see it. Just your thoughts on his vision.
Yeah, you guys were asking me last week about whether it was Scheif or KC or Fly and hockey sense and skill set. It's like defensemen, that ability to read plays when you don't have the puck, that's what makes the difference between average defenseman and great defenseman. And he's learning, he's getting better and better. I've seen that growth over the last couple of years, and that's why he is in our top 4 right now. Is that he has that instinctive mind that where Josh might have it to jump into play and find a hole to get an offensive chance. Sammy's he's got a good head. He's like Mel. They recognize what the next play is going to be, and they try to stay one step ahead. And the good defenders in this league do that.